Okay, so today we are doing what a sentence is. Please take the middle handout. What is a sentence is what we are looking at. I told you the sentence is the most basic, the primary unit of any answer. Answers are made of paragraphs, paragraphs are made of sentences, sentences are made of words. So we have to pay attention to the sentence and see that our sentences are correct and right. You have a weak patch anyway with English, so you have to have a double burden of writing correct English, but also writing solid sentences that are powerful. Remember that the word limits for all your answers, whether general studies, general essay, or optional, are extremely short. The longest is general essay, and that's only 1000 to 1200 words. That's not a lot of words. Other essays, other answers are 150 words, 250 words, absurd amounts, and huge questions. So you have to master the art of writing a sharp sentence, that is a solid sentence without errors and packing in as much information as possible. So that's what we're trying to do. We're starting at the basic level, which is what is a sentence. So look at your handout. What is a sentence? A sentence is a set of words that is complete in itself, underline complete in itself, typically containing a subject and a predicate. Right? Subject, predicate with a verb in between actually, which is how the standard English sentence is. Conveying a statement, this is the kind of sentence we are interested in. Not a question, you don't have to worry about question, you don't have to worry about exclamation, you don't have to worry about command. 4 kinds of sentences, we are only really concerned about the statement. That is our kind of sentence in the answer, and consisting of a main clause and one or more subordinate clauses. So the first rule to keep in mind for UPSC answers of any kind is keep the sentence short and simple. Please take that down in your notebooks. Keep your sentence short and simple. Okay, so that's point number 1. Then what are the 4 kinds of sentence we are looking at? One is a declarative sentence, which is what really we write mostly in the answers, that declares something, a statement, what we have called in the first paragraph a statement. We don't want an imperative sentence. Imperative is that you should do this, you should do that. We don't want it. In fact, we don't want policy recommendation, because most questions do not ask us for policy recommendations. We do not want to offer them. And we don't want interrogative sentences, because we can't ask questions in the answer. The answer is already too short. They want an answer to a question that they are asking you. So by asking questions, you're not really helping the case of your answer. So no, we don't want interrogative questions. We don't want exclamations. Exclamations are for drama, shouting on stage, which we don't want. We want to write factual, solid sentences. The first kind. Of the 4 sentence structures, the next handout, we really want a simple sentence, number 1. We use simple sentences, 1 main clause, 1 subordinate clause at most. Second, we will use a simple complex sentence, so what we can call a complex sentence. That's number 1. We use a complex sentence, and we use number 3, which is a simple sentence. We try and avoid compound sentences with more than 1 independent clause. And we definitely avoid compound complex sentences on the next page. We avoid them. Then we have what is a complex sentence? Complex sentence is 1 independent clause and 1 dependent clause or more, but we will actually stick with trying to write 1 dependent clause really. And again, the 4 types of sentence structure, we want complex sentence and simple sentence. We don't want compound complex. We don't want compound. We'll try and keep our answers simple, especially for our batch, our section, because we are already weak in English. Yes? So we want to write simple sentences and get it right. So how I will really begin to talk about sentences is by looking at the UPSC questions. I asked you to all get question banks. Please get your question banks. As many questions from the past as possible. And you will see, are these questions? So if you look at these questions themselves, you will see many errors in the way in which people from the UPSC system even write questions. So one good way of practicing exercises in terms of how to write decent sentences is to look at the questions in the UPSC paper, and a lot of them don't write properly at all. Then look at this sentence, for example. One size doesn't fit all, comma, India's local governance structure needs serious reforms. What is wrong with this sentence? Anyone? Can you guess at it? So we're not looking for content errors. Okay, content errors. Practically every question is constructed badly. Like look at the last one. Reforming the civil service is one of the last vestiges of our colonial legacy. What is the meaning of that sentence? What they mean is the civil service is one of the last vestiges of our colonial legacy, and we need to reform it. Discuss the need. Look at the stupidity of how they are. We are not looking at stupidity now. Stupidity is very common in India. Yes, we are looking at errors of English to get a proper sentence going. So I am saying that there's something wrong in this sentence called one size doesn't fit all, comma, India's local governance structure needs serious reform. Elucidate. At least one or two things wrong. What would be wrong?
There's no connection between both sentences.
Yes. So actually one size doesn't fit all is what they're saying should be the rationale of your answer. So it should just have been elucidate, just for the brain, India's local governance structure needs serious reform. Full stop, elucidate, full stop. You need a full stop after elucidate. You don't need that first bit at all. But even if you want to use that first bit, one size doesn't fit all, you would have to put a colon there to suggest that this is a sub-phrase through which you are then organizing the answer. So it should be one size doesn't fit all, colon is 2 dots, India's local government structure needs serious reform, elucidate. Okay. Next question, government's new health insurance scheme should be based on evidence and transparency. Effective implementation of the National Health Protection Mission will require a robust governance process. Discuss. What's wrong with this question? Just grammatically, just in terms of English, tell me. This is created as a general studies test by likes and nonsense. So it's not the previous 25 years. I want the previous 25 years. Okay. Look at the sentence. Please take it down. Need brings greed. Need brings greed, comma. If greed increases, it spoils breed. If greed increases, it spoils breed. What is wrong with this sentence? Grammatically, linguistically, at language level? The first part, need brings greed, is a sentence in itself. You need to put a full stop after greed. Capital I, if greed increases, comma, it spoils the breed. So, need brings greed, full stop. If greed increases, comma, it spoils the breed, full stop. Next, take down another wrong sentence. Lending hands to someone is better than giving a dole. Is better than giving a D-O-L-E. And if you know what D-O-L-E is, what is dole? Dole is when you don't have money, a welfare state, when you don't have money, as I said, you don't have employment. The state gives you a certain amount of money every week so that you can survive. That's called dole. So it's saying lending hands to someone is better than giving a dole. So what is wrong with this sentence in English terms?
Lending hand to someone.
Lending a hand, yes. So lending a hand, small h and no s. You don't lend hands. You lend hands, what are you left with? No hands. So lending a hand, that's the English phrase. You lend a hand. Can I lend you a hand is what you say to someone. So lending a hand, small h, to someone is better than giving. There's no a dole. Giving dole, there's only the article a. And articles is the big issue that I want you to think about. And it's what we'll be doing now in a moment, because especially with first language interference, like all of you talking Telugu when I entered the class, that's all you ever do. So your English is highly Teluguized, and therefore articles are all in the wrong place. When you need to put articles, you don't put articles. When you don't need to put articles, you put articles. That's the problem with, it's called mother tongue interference. And your mother tongue interferes when you are constantly talking the mother tongue, right? And you can't therefore write an answer in English if you're constantly talking in your mother tongue. Look at this English. Preparedness of our society. Preparedness, 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 preparedness of our society for India's global leadership role. Global leadership role. Yes, what's wrong with this? Where's the article that we should open with? The preparedness. And actually, technically, it should be of Indian society for the role as global leader. That would be the correct sentence to actually write it, to rewrite this sentence entirely. Because although it's not, I mean, it is also technically grammatically wrong, because you just say preparedness. You can't start a sentence by saying preparedness of. No. But in general, the whole sentence is clumsily and awkwardly constructed. Words are sharper. Words are sharper.
So here the preparedness of Indian society for India's global.
For our global. For actually not even our. For a global leadership role, or for the role as global leader. So for a global leadership role or the role of global leader. Words are sharper, words, words are sharper than the two-edged sword, the 2TWO-EDGED sword, SWORD. What's wrong with this?
The word such.
No, the what about?
Replace everything.
Yes, good point. Replace the second the first sorry, with a. Then a two-edged sword, not than the two-edged sword. But words are sharper than a two-edged, and two-edged is wrong in English. Actually, it's double-edged. That's the phrase in English, double-edged sword. So as you can see, UPSC questions are full of stupid sentences, and you can rewrite them as sensible sentences. What I want to do before we actually go to doing a sentence of our own, answering any one of these questions and doing a sentence on our own, is to look at articles, which is a common mistake among students of English who are always speaking Telugu. Yes? So, go to your computer, go to your phone, and look at Grammarly, a site called Grammarly, GRA, take down the name of the website, GRAMMARLY, Grammarly. And so just type in Google Grammarly articles. or the article, the article. Can you please get that up on your phones? Take out your phones and look up this website. Some enterprising people are not carrying phones at all. Great, which century are you living in? Can you pass one phone this side? Or should I get my phone? Can you just get my phone from my table, Alan?
Sure.
Look up the site Grammarly articles. What does it say? Grammarly. That's a good website. Keep looking at it when you have any grammar queries.
Complete grammar guide.
Grammarly, yeah, but type in Google Grammarly article.
Yes. Articles are words that define noun and
Yes, that one. So start reading it. Yes, tell us.
Articles are words that define a noun and specific or unspecific. Consider the following examples. Example 1. After the long day, the cup of tea tasted particularly good. By using the article the, we have shown that it was one specific day that was long and one specific cup of tea that tasted good. Example, after a long day, a cup of tea tastes particularly good. By using the article A, we have created a general statement implying that any cup of tea would taste good after any long day.
Okay, so let's look at these two examples closely. This refers to the two types of articles. Please take them down in your notes. Two types of articles, definite and indefinite. Okay. So from the name itself, definite and indefinite, you know when you're going to use which article. So let's go back to the examples. A specific or definite article is when you say, after the long day, the cup of tea tasted particularly good. So after this class, I might go to my office and have a cup of tea after taking many classes in the day and say to my colleagues sitting in the room, after the long day, the cup of tea tastes particularly good. That's a specific day, that is today. A specific cup of tea that I'm having. That's definite, right? Specific, that's called the definite article. That's when you use the, okay? And by a, if I'm just saying after a long day, any day, after any long day, that is a long day, a cup of tea tastes good. Not this specific cup of tea, but on any day, a cup of tea after a long day tastes good. These are the two types of articles. The definite article is the word the. Please mark that. So you know when to put a definite article, when not. It limits the meaning of a noun to one particular thing. And please remember, it's a thing. So you don't use an article for proper nouns, for example. What is your name? I don't say the Radhika, right? I say Radhika. So I don't use it for proper nouns. For example, your friend might ask, are you going to the party this weekend? And that tells you that there's a specific party that is being referred to. It can be used with singular, plural or uncountable nouns. Below are examples of definite article. Please give me the hammer. Please give me the red hammer. The blue one is too small, and so on. Then indefinite article. The indefinite article takes two forms. It's the word a, so under indefinite write a, which precedes a word that begins with a consonant. What is a consonant? Look up the word consonant. Take this word down, consonant. You need to understand this word. It's a word which begins, and it's the word an, when it precedes a word beginning with a vowel. What is a vowel? What are the vowels in English? A, E, I, O, U. Okay? So if I say umbrella, an umbrella, because that's a vowel. Indefinite article indicates that a noun refers to a general idea. So not my umbrella or your umbrella, but an umbrella. The general object called umbrella. I'm going to buy an apple pie. Not a particular apple pie that you have in mind, but an apple pie. Then exceptions, choosing a or an. There are a few exceptions further down in that entry to the general use of using a before words. that start with consonants and before words that begin with vowels. H, for example. In many languages, H is silent. So it becomes honor in French, not. And even when we pronounce it, we don't say honor. We say honor. Right? So you don't pronounce the H, so therefore you put a article that is not an A but a vowel based article. An honest woman. Similarly, when the first letter of the word is a vowel but pronounced with a consonant sound, use A, as in she is an United States Senator. No, she is a United States Senator, because we pronounce it with a Y, united. We say united, we don't say united, right? It's not a U. So this is the basic stuff on the article. Article before an adjective, sometimes an article modifies a noun, that is also modified by an adjective. So order is article plus adjective plus noun. Please take that down. When there's an adjective, it's article plus adjective plus noun. Elisa will bring a small gift to Sophie's party. So A, article, small adjective, gift, noun. Yes, that's the example they give you. Indefinite articles with uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are impossible to count. So, information, air, liquid, you can't count it. Or things that are too large to count, like equipment, sand. Because these things can't be counted, you should never use a or an with them. Please give me a water. No, please give me water. Please give me a sand. No, please give me sand. Give me some sand. Yes? Some you can use, but not a or an. Okay, so these are the basic rules for an article. Further down, articles with pronouns. Possessive pronouns can help identify whether you're talking about specific or non-specific articles. As we've seen, articles also indicate specificity. But if you both use a possessive pronoun, if you use both a possessive pronoun and an article, readers will become confused. You don't say, why are you reading my book? No. Say, why are you reading my book? So articles should not be used with pronouns. Please mark that. Articles should not be used with pronouns. The and my, for example, should not be used together. Sometimes the article is not used at all, like let's go out for dinner tonight. You don't say let's go out for a dinner. Let's go out for dinner. Okay, so this is the basic stuff on the article and the rules that you need to keep in mind. So think about what article you're going to use when and why as well. Okay. Now let's go to the questions again. Let's take a question. And what I want you to do in the next 10 minutes or so is to write one sentence in answer to this question. It could be any sentence from the start of the essay, from the middle of the essay, from the end of the essay, whatever it is. But give me one solid, carefully thought out sentence. Remember the rules I told you already. Words are limited. Every sentence should be solid, sharp, saying something. There's no point in having an empty. Either it's a topic sentence of a paragraph, which is the first sentence, which tells us what the paragraph is about, or it's an evidence sentence which gives us strong evidence, but you don't have fragments, you don't have abstract sentences. Remember, one of the rules we took down in yesterday's handout. Go back to yesterday's handout, the 10 steps handout. One of my 10 steps was avoid abstractions, avoid cliches, avoid empty phrases. Yes? So avoid them because you're wasting words and therefore your sentence will be poor. So let's take any given general essay question. Destiny of a nation. Again, first tell me the wrong English in this sentence. Destiny of a nation is shaped in its classroom. Destiny of a nation is shaped in its classroom. What is wrong with this sentence? No, that's fine. It is its classroom. What's wrong with that? Destiny of a nation is shaped. No, why?
Nation may not have a class. Destiny of nation.
Why?
Nations.
They're saying this about any nation. So a nation. What's wrong with that? That's correct. The destiny. Yes, please added the destiny of a nation. And the nation doesn't have only one classroom, right? So classrooms. The destiny of a nation is shaped, not in shaped. In the written in here. And look at this is just probably a typo of this people who have produced this book. But whoever Venkata Mohan is doesn't know English at all. Yes. So is shaped in the classroom, in its classrooms. Okay.
Its classrooms or its classroom.
Does the nation have only one classroom? How many classes exist in a nation? Hundreds and thousands of classrooms. How can it be without an S?
Classrooms okay, but it's
What's wrong with its? What is this its? There are two kinds of its. What are the its? The its with the apostrophe is what? For possessive and belong. Yes. So why do you need it here? Singular possessive is when you say, when you use the apostrophe, it is when you use the pattern. You don't use it for possessive, you use it for when it's it is that is combined. It is raining, you can say it's raining, then you use the apostrophe. This is possessive, right? Possessive of the nation, do you need an apostrophe? No. You need an apostrophe only when you are combining it and is. It is a bad day. I want to say it's a bad day, then you use an apostrophe. Not for possessive when I'm saying this is its scheduled place. Why would I use an apostrophe there? I'm talking about the scheduled place of this object. Possessive in relation to that object, I don't use an apostrophe. Is that clear? When you use an apostrophe, when you don't. Again, on Grammarly, you can look up this rule. They will explain the rule to you. Anytime you don't understand a rule, look it up. Go back to Grammarly as a website, look up the its rule. Please look it up right now. When is ITS used? So write Grammarly again, or go to the website and write ITS, its. What is the rule? Tell me.
Possessive just like
Have you also found it? You don't have a phone? Use mine. Yes, tell us, read us the rule. It's called its or its. It's not the same. Yes? And it says, when you're in a hurry, you might write its when you really mean its. Have you found that? Yes? Found it? Sentence begins when you're in a hurry. Its with an apostrophe S is a contraction of it is or it has. Its without an apostrophe is a possessive determiner. We used to say that something belongs to or refers to something. Right? So here the classrooms belong to India, so we don't need to have an apostrophe. Its and its are among the most commonly confused words. They are pronounced the same. There's a very small difference in how they're written, and it's also easy to mistake the contraction in its for a possessive. It is not. The rules are very clear. Its, it, apostrophe s is the same type of contraction as where's. Where is. Or there's. There is. Then you use apostrophe s. Whereas its without an apostrophe is simply possessive. So when you say this nation has lost its mind, or this group has lost its mind, would you put an apostrophe or not put an apostrophe? Not put. Thank you. Yes? And if I say it's dark out there, will I put an apostrophe or not? By will. It is dark out there. Okay. Back to the question. So we chose the question. What was the question we chose? Now write a sentence at any part from any point of the answer. Opening sentence, middle sentence, end of the essay sentence, anything, just one sentence. Write to me. Remember what is the rules of sentences? Short sentences. We don't want too many clauses. We don't want too many complications. We don't want empty words. We don't want abstractions. Just write a sentence. You have 7 minutes. Okay. Let's look at some sentences. Yes, tell me yours.
Such an development have to be carried out in every field in the nation's plan.
Where was the sentence from? Which part of the essay? Where are you going to use it? At the end. The essay was that research and development happen in the classroom. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Not classroom.
What is the question?
The district information.
Yes, it has to be classroom related to a sentence. Why is this is not classroom related necessarily? This is research. So you have to say research. First of all, you have to say research and development have to be carried out in more than every field, in every classroom, to make the nation strong. Yes? Because you have to relate it to the thesis. Yes? That's an adequate sentence. Research and development have to be carried out in every field. No, we just want one sentence. Research and development have to be carried out in every classroom or field to make the nation strong, although not very clear why the nation will be made strong with it, but it can maybe be the first topic sentence of a paragraph, and he will then give us an example of why it will be useful. Yes, you?
People with primary education will have 1.5 times the earning capacity than uneducated women as per World Bank survey. It's an example.
So look at that sentence. What can go? People with primary education. Why do you need will? You don't need will. Have. They have it. Why will have? Will is future tense. They already have it. They have primary education. So why will? Will is wrong English. Some Telugu interference where you are saying, even when you describe a movie, South Indians tend to say, then the hero will do this. He's already done it. It's a film. It's already made. The film is made. So why do you always say the hero will then go there? Then heroine will come here? No. It's not. Will is in the future. The heroine has already come there. That's the film is made. It's ready. It's already in the cinema halls. People are watching it. So will is wrong English. It's future tense. These are people with primary education. They already have primary education. So they are. People with primary education are. Not will have. Are. More than 1.5 times. Than is missing. Why of earning? Why do you need of? Or will earn. So then you use will if you're saying will earn. So these people with primary education will earn. And you don't need have. You don't need earn more than 1.5 times. You don't need earning. And, not than, and uneducated. One sounds clumsy person. As per, we don't need, as per is kind of official English which is no longer used in English actually. So we don't use as per. Says. A World Bank survey. Yes? So this is a sharper sentence than the one you've written. Yes, tell us yours. Classrooms are not producers. Are classrooms people? Classrooms can stand up and produce? No. So classrooms are places, not producers. Places. Yes. No, why? Which is used to? Which? You don't need is used to. Which shape? Yes, but that's again, you're just repeating the question. We don't want this. We want something more specific. And that's the end of your sentence. This is another sentence. We're asking only for one sentence. You've written 2 sentences. Right? We want only one. So how do we make the sentence better? sentence always begins with a capital letter. So classrooms are spaces of knowledge and discipline, which, and we don't want which is used for at all. We don't want shaped and destination of what, because just repeating the question. Where, so we cannot say we replace which with where, and what can we help her with in terms of finishing the sentence. She says she's using two terms, knowledge and discipline. So classrooms are spaces of knowledge and discipline, which or where
It trains the students to make by making them productive.
where young minds are trained to be. Use is productive, but that's purely economic. I will just say, because we're talking about the nation, to be future citizens. That's the sentence. Okay? So that's it. Tomorrow we begin the paragraph. Okay?